Hey everybody, I'm Jesse. I'm a game developer, and today the new demo for Unreal Engine 5 dropped, and I wanted to look at it on video today because the last one was so crazy. I just want to see what they've got in store for us. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I also know that there is a demo out, actually, that you can interact with. You can actually build like a prototype with it. You can't make anything finalized, but I'll definitely be going into it and experimenting around with it in a future video. So stick around for that if you're interested. But today, let's just get into it.
And workflows that we
I am excited.
Now, we've got a lot to get to, so let's get started.
Okay. Oh, it's so insane.
In setting out to make our demo, we wanted to
I don't want to get too crazy yet.
Here are sequences running in real time on
But I mean, it already looks so
and
good.
Xbox Series X.
Okay. Okay,
welcome
so
to the
this is
brand
the
new
UI,
in Unreal Engine 5.
All right, let him talk.
While a lot of the same features and functionality that you've come to know in UE4 are still present in the new UI, we've added several new systems that put you at the center of the experience. For example, the content browser can now be accessed like a drawer using hotkeys, allowing you to keep a clean workspace while still having access to all the content that you need. We can also collapse and restore editor tabs to and from the sidebar, maximizing the viewport experience. And you're going to see a lot more of the UI as we get further into this presentation, but we can't wait for you to get your hands on it.
Okay, so far, impressions. I don't want to pause the whole time because I know that's going to drive people crazy, and this is 15 minutes long. Oh my lord. But already, those UI improvements are massive. You don't know how much time people spend resizing all the little windows and stuff and customizing the project layout. So it all being I can't speak English. It all being automatically collapsed for you to restore like this and all being very friendly is very nice. I also want to take a second. Let me go back because it's a bit dark right now. They started to fade. Okay, here all the buttons and stuff. They're all the fields where you input the location. All this is the same as Unreal 4, but it all looks so much smoother and nicer. You can see all the UI design, like the little gradient there. It all just looks more sleek than it did in Unreal 4, which, I mean, I'm all for it. It looks really, really nice, and it's laid out in like. It looks great. It looks great. And what am I supposed to say?
Now, one of the main features of Unreal Engine 5 is Nanite, our virtualized micropolygon geometry system that frees artists to create as much geometric detail as the eye can see. Virtualized geometry supports orders of magnitude more triangles without compromising speed, and replaces the traditional system of mesh LODs, handling all detail transitions seamlessly without any additional setup. In other words, Nanite lets the artist create while the engine does the work. Switching to this Nanite visualization, you can see individual triangles rendered out as different colors here in the viewport. And because the geometry is now virtualized, you can feel free to place assets like these all throughout your scene to fill out a massive player space.
Okay, this is just cheating. This is cheating. So, for those of you who don't know, something that game developers and level designers and artists all had to take into account very heavily. It's gotten less and less important with every console generation as PCs have gotten better. But the optimization and the budget of polygons within your game is so important. And you always had to these models are obviously created in ZBrush by some sort of artist, or I think these are probably Quixel models that are going to be available for free, which is a whole other thing. But these models are created in something like ZBrush, and usually what the artist would have to do is take the models from ZBrush, put them into Maya, re-topo them so that they took less polys, then put them into Unreal Engine. It was a very timely process, and it had to be done so that the game could be well optimized. The fact that you can put assets like these all through the level, even though they're so insanely expensive, and these are the environment assets, the characters are probably going to be tens of millions of polygons, which is unbelievable to me. I mean, it's all so insane. And then you also have to add into the fact that, there's so many things that you have to do to optimize. Those mountains in the background, those used to be something that you'd have to take into account when making your level, such that you would have to make a sky sphere and have those baked into the sky sphere. You wouldn't have those as actual 3D models. And if you would, they would be so low LOD that they wouldn't have much of an optimization change on the game. The fact that you can put a 2 million polygon model all the way at the back of the scene without changing the optimization of the game that much, that's insane. That's ridiculous. I mean, really.
Using this debug view, you can see individual instances represented by different colors from swatch to swatch. Each instance in this environment contains around 1 to 2 million triangles, providing enough detail for the camera to roam with complete creative freedom.
I mean, what's Unreal 6 going to be? The game makes itself? What is this?
Now, UE5's new anti-aliasing solution, Temporal Super Resolution, keeps up with all this new geometric detail to create sharper, more stable images than before, with quality approaching true native 4K at the cost of 1080p. While highly detailed assets
it's realistic. Where else is it supposed to go?
High-quality lighting that realistically reacts to your scene is what opens the door to more dynamic worlds and immersive gameplay. Lumen is our fully dynamic, real-time global illumination solution that immediately reacts to scene and light change, making for more believable experiences. And the GI hooks in directly with our time of day settings, allowing for true physically based setups for photorealistic environments. The Megascans library has meticulously calibrated physically based surfaces and objects in the thousands of assets as of today. And the
okay, so quickly, it is still Megascans, which means probably everything that you're seeing in this demo and more, like probably thousands and thousands of assets and environments more, are free, which, I mean, if you're an individual developer, who needs artists anymore? Which is like, you know, its own, like, that's kind of a problem actually, but what is this?
Highlighting here show just how powerful it is to have Nanite and Lumen working in tandem. Also, thanks to the new Sky Atmosphere system, it is incredibly simple to quickly simulate realistic time of day, carefully art direct volumetric clouds, and make modifications to things like
okay, no, I need to go back. Sorry, but what is this?
Art direct volumetric clouds.
Oh, we're just gonna casually stroll on by the fact that the clouds like completely rearrange the entire sky perfectly on the...
And make modifications to things like atmospherics, sun position, and fog. And for this example, we wanted to
all those things were in Unreal Engine 4, but it looks better now.
Dynamic scene,
obviously.
No light baking, and realistic interpolation between the different times of day. Of course, when in development, having access to high-quality content that's easy to use helps you iterate quickly and saves lots of time that can be better spent elsewhere on your project.
Yep.
With Quixel now being a part of the Epic Games family,
there's just a window.
Made the full Megascans library free and open for all Unreal Engine users. Bridge, our online browser for Megascans assets, has historically functioned as a standalone application for quickly exporting assets in bulk directly into the engine.
Oh, it's just in the engine then? Yeah, sure, why not?
Today, we're happy to announce that Bridge is now natively integrated directly into the engine.
Like, hey guys, I need the entirety of the environment of Utah, the entire state, just in my game. Just there. And it'll just all run perfectly and look completely photorealistic. Yeah, why not? That's not a big deal.
Now you can simply drag and drop assets directly into your scene for a more intuitive and connected experience. And simply logging in with your Epic ID gives you immediate access to thousands of assets to use for free in your Unreal Engine projects. We are constantly looking to enhance the value of the Megascans library. And today we're excited to announce that we're adding a brand new asset type called MegaAssemblies. MegaAssemblies are the natural next step for us in removing even more barriers for artists in crafting their worlds. By combining existing assets from the Megascans library, our artists are pre-assembling elements that can be quickly accessed and leveraged to populate your scenes. Using the Moab set, let's add an assembly to our scene. And just like that, we were able to quickly change the composition of this area in our map.
Okay. So I guess what they mean by the assemblies thing is that's not just a mesh. When he spawned that in, it had a bunch of dynamic particle systems. It had smoke effects. It had the whole circus, man. And it's just there, and it just merges with the environment. Like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. The games are gonna make themselves.
With UE5, we are reimagining what collaboration looks like for teams and projects of all sizes. A common challenge when collaborating on large worlds is deciding how to structure map content so that everyone on the team can easily work without asset contention.
True, sublevels
while
are a pain.
Also avoiding painful merge conflicts.
Yep.
A new system called World Partition makes traditional world-building workflows obsolete by changing the way that we think about map files. Rather than requiring artists to build out map content as a series of streaming levels, World Partition allows teams to think of a single map as one large world that gets broken down automatically into many smaller, streamable cells on a grid,
No,
These
this
cells
is just
can
a
be
joke
selectively
now.
Loaded or unloaded in the editor to save on edit time resources, allowing artists to only load up the sections of the map that they need.
Okay, well, I think it's pretty similar to what sublevels were before, but it's laid out in a much more convenient manner. I would really like to see what happens when AI interacts with levels that aren't necessarily streamed and how that's all dealt with in Unreal. Maybe they'll get into it later in the video, so I'll hold my thoughts, but AI and sublevels are a lot of the time really wonky, so we'll see what happens with this demo.
On top of that, changes to actors in a world partition map are tracked at the actor level, not the map level. This one file per actor approach empowers different team members to work on different actors in the same map without having to worry about their changes getting clobbered in a merge or having to revert to get someone else's edits. Now, this approach means you could have artists lighting, set dressing, and reworking the landscape simultaneously, all within the same virtual space.
That's insane. I mean, that's such a huge boost to workflow. I mean, it's hard to even talk about because I mean, there's so much time wasted when you're at a company, especially when you have bigger teams, and there's a bunch of people working on the same level or on the same thing, and everybody's trying to, merge things and push and pull different things, and having it all laid out in a more efficient manner it elevates workflow so much. That is a very helpful
Managing
change.
this much content at runtime typically requires a ton of thought about how to stream relevant content in and out to stay inside performance budgets.
Right.
Fortunately, World Partition handles that as well. At
why
runtime,
not?
only the cells in a user-defined radius from our player are loaded, and as we move, new cells are streamed in, while cells no longer needed are replaced by their lower resolution, hierarchical level of detail, or HLOD version. And since all projects have different requirements, the cell size and loading radius are fully configurable.
Okay, so that makes sense. That is pretty similar to what was there already, but it's really good to see. I mean, everything's thought of. Everything's thought of.
Each project's content streaming needs. Another feature that comes along with World Partition is data layers. Data layers are a way to categorize map assets and collectively enable or disable them when you want to alter the state of the world. Working in data layers, a separate group of artists was able to assemble a mythical reimagination of the environment with more interactive elements for our demo.
Okay, so that's these data layers are pretty much what sublevels were. I guess what they've done is they've taken these data layers and they've taken the actual map itself and they've separated it out so that I guess it works better. Honestly, I'm going to need some time to fully process everything when I jump into the editor myself later.
At runtime, we can swap between these two modes, streaming thousands of actors in and out, and enter into the dark world. Let's see this in action as we go back to Chant.
Okay.
Thanks, Galen. Many runtime and interactive frameworks.
Okay. I don't know if they got their own art team to do this or if this is stuff available in Quixel, but I mean, obviously the character model's probably not, but so the character artists, you're still good. I guess they're probably, I think NVIDIA's doing their own character model thing now. There's so much going on in terms of tech in the games industry that's crazy, crazy, crazy. But look at this environment. I mean, this is something that any individual, if I was making my own game, my environment could look this good without having any artists on the team. That is unbelievable. Honestly, kind of bad for the artists. Job security's going down, I'm going to be real.
Frameworks in Unreal Engine are getting significant updates in UE5. One thing we've added for animation is an experimental new full-body IK solver, which is designed to give you better results with less work. Here, you can see it in action as the rig for our player character, Echo, corrects itself to adjust for variations on the ground below her. It's deterministic, reliable, and around 10 times faster than before. To build and maintain more scalable gameplay systems, we've also added a new framework called Game Feature Plugins that will allow you to build and ship game content in a more modular way. With Game Feature Plugins, numerous core gameplay features can be built in parallel with better encapsulation and finer content organization. Game Feature Plugins allow developers to add activation instructions to extend base game functionality, register new input actions for players, and interface with other frameworks such as animation.
Oh, interesting.
When we shifted into the Dark World, we also activated a new game feature to give Echo a brand new attack ability. All of the assets and logic needed for the ability, including new animations, input controls, blueprint code, VFX, and audio, are contained inside this plugin, and core game classes have no idea that these assets exist until we activate it. We've also added a feature called animation.
Wait, I need to hear that again.
Until we activate it, plugin. And core game classes have no idea that these assets exist until we activate it.
Core game classes don't know that these assets exist.
We've also added a feature called animation motion warping, which allows you to manipulate root motion animations to adapt them to the world. Echo's vault animation was authored to the specific dimensions of this rubble.
Right.
Leveraging motion warping, we were able to add notify states in the vault animation asset that can react to transform data passed in via blueprints. This allowed us to reuse the same animation to vault over other assets of different dimensions, like these pieces of debris, by sending information about their size into the motion warping system. Before triggering the vaulting animation, a blueprint script determines her rotation, how high up she jumps, how far she needs to move to get to the other side, and where her feet should land.
That's really neat. So I think, I could be wrong, but I think this isn't entirely new technology. I think that this has been done, I think. But again, saving on animation time. You don't need to make different animations. If something can be repurposed with slightly different transform positions within the animation, then it's going to be very helpful for your timing. So,
motion warping then adapts the root motion of the vault animation to match this data. Also, for the Rift Interact animation, we used motion warping to place Echo in the perfect position in order to ensure her hand would always touch the rift. So on the topic of animation, Unreal Engine 5 also includes our in-editor rigging tool, Control Rig.
In-editor rigging? What? If they're gonna tell me that big guy there was rigged in-engine and animated, I'll let them say it. I'll let them say it. If they're gonna... There's no...
Meet the Ancient,
okay.
Film quality creature imagined and built by our friends at the Aaron Sims Creative Company.
Great.
We partnered with Aaron Sims and his group of talented artists to concept the Dark World and to bring it to life through an enormous mythical adversary.
Cool.
Now, every single animation for the Ancient was authored wholly in engine by the Aaron Sims creative team using Control Rig and Sequencer.
Okay, dude.
Animation tool. Also, just to push the boundaries a bit, they even built it out of a collection of nanite meshes totaling over 50 million triangles attached directly to the skeleton.
So, you're telling me the literal only thing missing from this engine is that you can't create your own music. You can't create your own music in engine. Literally everything else, if you count the textures from Quixel, and you don't need to make your own textures, the only thing you can't create is music. Not looking so good for Autodesk these days. Gee, sheesh.
Control Rig was designed to keep artists close to their creations without having to bounce back and forth between software packages, allowing them to quickly iterate, all inside Unreal.
So you have IK handles in engine? Sure, why not? Why not? The game's actually going to make... Like Unreal Engine 6, they're actually going to make the game make it. Like, where are you going to go from here?
Between Echo and the Ancient, we wanted to give the creature a heavy laser attack that Echo would have to avoid. We needed it to track Echo's location in the arena and fire a slow, sweeping blast towards her.
Cool.
Taking advantage of the full-body IK solver mentioned earlier, we were able to influence the direction and distance the Ancient reaches out during the firing animation, based on where Echo is in the scene.
Oh,
Let's see the results. Here is what the base firing animation looks like.
Yeah, but you can modify where his hand goes based on the trajectory of the
And here it is again, with the full-body IK post-process layers enabled, and our info about Echo passed into
Yeah, that's really cool.
With full-body IK and Control Rig, designers and artists can now...
I'm sorry, but can we take a second to appreciate the fire particles in its head or whatever? Those
dynamic animations that react to gameplay.
I mean, this is real time. That's the thing that's unbelievable to me, because this looks like a cutscene.
Having to build complex animation state machines composed of numerous animation assets. In Unreal Engine 5, we've completely overhauled the audio engine, centered around Metasounds.
Don't say you can make your own music. Don't you do it. I'm watching you.
A new asset type used for every sound effect in our demo. Metasounds bring the power and flexibility found in material editors to audio creation, providing fine control for authoring procedural game audio. With full audio synthesis capabilities and a rich audio function library, Metasounds give unprecedented control over sound effects and runtime applications.
Okay, so everybody using Unreal 5, I'm sorry, Wise. I'm sorry. Why would you use Wise? Okay, so the only thing you can't make is music. Sound effects, though. I mean, I guess you can't make them, but you can modify them.
Using Metasounds, we built the Ancient's laser attack out of a combination of sound samples and synthesized audio.
Okay. That is crazy.
Let's briefly break down how it was set up. Using the stereo mixer, let's isolate and play just the synthesized charge sound. This effect is made by using a handful of sound wave generators and multiple modulation widgets. Now, let's mix back in our sound samples to hear the final result again. Alright, let's take down the Ancient.
Jesus. That's really cool. Hit it in the head. Boom! There we go.
Now, everything we've been showing you in today's demo focuses on some of the new features in UE5. But many of your favorite UE4 features, such as Niagara particles and visual effects, chaos physics, blueprint visual scripting, and more, have also received numerous updates in Unreal Engine 5.
They updated Niagara? Really? It was pretty much just introduced into...
Plus, all UE5, so you won't have to worry about forward compatibility for what you're working on now.
What?
To UE5.
Unreal Engine 5.
Plus, all your UE4 projects can be upgraded to UE5.
What? What? How?
So you won't have to worry about forward compatibility for what you're working on now.
Here at Epic, we are passionate about building great tools and new technology.
Apparently.
A big part of our excitement is being able to bring you, the developer community, on the journey with us. So today, we're making an early access build of Unreal Engine 5 freely available
I heard about
on the
this.
Epic Games Launcher and the Unreal Engine GitHub, so you can explore and test out these tools yourself to get an early look at what's coming later in the full release of UE 5.0.
Also, we're releasing the project source for Valley of the Ancient, so you can check out how we use these features to build everything you've seen in today's demonstration. We've got a series of deep dive conversations on these topics lined up for Inside Unreal, our official weekly live stream, where you can hear from the engine dev team and ask your questions.
Now, these are still the early days of UE5, and you can expect more news and features to be announced.
This looks terrible. I can clearly see that it's in an early stage of development.
We move closer to a production-ready release targeting early 2022.
Follow the Unreal Engine social channels for more information, and feel free
early
to download
2022 for a full production release. Okay, they said that before. That's
the early access release of Unreal Engine 5 and the Valley of the Ancient project today.
Thanks everyone for watching, and welcome to Early Access.
Well, they did early access, right? Damn! Okay. Well, I guess that concludes this video. I am still confused. I don't know what I just watched. I guess this is truly next gen. There's so many things that are new here, and I can't wait to explore all of them because, I mean, it's really revolutionary. It's like It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So if you enjoyed this reaction video, I don't know if this is a kind of thing you guys want me to do more. Maybe when some more features get announced for Unreal, I'll do this sort of thing again. If you enjoyed all the sort of YouTube stuff that people do, would be appreciated. And I will see you in the next one, where I'll be going into the engine and experimenting with all the stuff and seeing how it all works, which I'm very much excited for. I'll see you in the next one. Later.